We're hoarding spears and breathing in that Stormlight. That's right! It's the Cosmere role-playing game from Brotherwise Games and Dragonsteel Entertainment. In the first campaign setting for the Cosmere RPG, players adventure in the rich, vibrant world of Brandon Sanderson's The Stormlight Archive. On the world of Roshar, hurricane-force storms sweep across the stony landscape, infusing the world with magic known as Stormlight. War rages across the continent as the forces of Honor and Odium vie for control of human and Singer nations. If you want to learn more about the lore, there are 5 weighty tomes in the Stormlight Archive for you to dig into. So far, like most RPGs, Cosmere places one player in the role of Game Master, the storyteller and narrative driver of the game. The other players take on the role of player characters, the heroes and protagonists of the story. Let's start by looking at the core mechanic of the game, the skill test. Players will attempt a skill test anytime their action is uncertain in the story, determining whether they succeed or fail. For instance, using their leadership skill to persuade a group of wary villagers to join and help the fight against incoming bandits. To make this skill test, the player selects a skill from their character sheet and rolls a 20-sided die. A d20 for those of you very new to RPGs. Welcome, you're gonna love it here. The Game Master determines a difficulty class for the test, a number representing the difficulty of the task. For instance, 15 would be for a medium difficulty task. The player adds the die result to their skill's modifier number. This sum is then compared to the difficulty class. If the player's total equals or exceeds it, they succeed. Now that's all fine and basic and familiar and cozy. However, in the Cosmere RPG, some skill tests require adding additional dice along with the d20 roll. These include the damage die, which applies when attacking an adversary and adds its result to the test. We'll explore this die more in the combat section. The plot die. This is a new one. It's used for dramatic, risky, or plot-relevant roles. The d20 will determine whether a player succeeds or fails, but the plot die adds positive or negative plot twists that move the story forward. These are known as opportunities or complications. Sometimes the GM will say that a test has advantage or disadvantage. That means you add a second die to the test and roll both, taking the higher result for advantage or the lower result for disadvantage. In the Cosmere RPG, if you have advantage, you can choose to apply it to your d20 roll, your damage die, or even your plot die. Your party has been walking for hours, and as you approach the edge of the Shattered Plains, you see before you the House Sadius war camp. At every entrance, there are several sentries. How do you get in?
I'm gonna try to lie my way in.
Yes, wise, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie to the guard at the front.
All right, I'll need a skill check for deception.
Okay. I rolled a 9 and I have a +4 to deception, so that's going to be a 13.
I'm so sorry, Omar. The difficulty was 15.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yes, I tuck my long eyebrow behind my ear and I saunter up to the guard and I try to persuade him with my charm.
Tell me more.
Well, hello. I know you asked us that we need to check in, but I want to check you out.
Give me a roll for persuasion, and I will say, Gina, you've raised the stakes here.
I did a little bit.
If you would please also roll a plot die.
Okay. This is gonna be persuasion. I don't know why I went with that. I'm not very good at it, but okay. I got a 16 on the die, and I rolled an opportunity on the plot die.
Amazing!
Yeah.
You did need to hit a difficulty of 15, which you have, and the opportunity is that he invites you to the officers' quarters for dinner later.
I just chicken scratch a little bit of like the time. Right?
Please, let me. He scoops up a handful of ash for you to dip your finger in.
Great, I'll be there.
The three of you have gained access.
Great. Nailed it. Good job. And I go to tuck again and immediately smudge that. Oh, dang. Okay, 6:30, and keep going through.
Opportunities and complications are unexpected plot twists that arise from rolling the plot die. Players and the GM should use them to advance the plot, adding excitement and drama to a scene. A test can gain an opportunity or complication when the plot die is rolled, when an ability grants it, or when someone rolls a 20 or a 1 on their d20. When gaining an opportunity, the character gains a beneficial effect like aiding an ally, gaining focus, or even scoring a critical hit in combat, which we will get to soon, I promise. A complication grants a negative side effect, like hindering an ally, losing focus, or an influential twist in the narrative, courtesy of your failure. All right, now let's talk about building characters. Rather than the often used class system, Stormlight uses more flexible paths, which allow an adventurer to choose talents from different disciplines in the game world. While a character may start on one path at the beginning of a campaign, they may follow an additional heroic path or radiant paths over the course of their adventuring career. Thankfully, there are no multi-pathing penalties, and pursuing multiple paths doesn't dilute a character's power level. The 6 heroic paths are spelled out clearly in the rules, so I'm just gonna read them as they're beautifully written. Agent, a talented operative who solves problems with a keen mind or a deft hand. Envoy, an insightful negotiator who understands how to influence others. Hunter, a skilled sharpshooter and outdoors person who seeks and eliminates problems. Leader, a poised commander who directs and guides others to be their best. Scholar, an adroit thinker who excels at planning and building. Warrior, a fighter who relies on their skill, brute strength, or indomitable will. Within each path, there are 3 specialties. For instance, warrior specialties include the duelist, shard bearer, and soldier, while the envoy specialties include the faithful, diplomat, and mentor. Characters also have 6 core attributes in 3 realms. Physical includes strength and speed. Cognitive includes intellect and willpower, and spiritual includes awareness and presence. Within each of these 3 categories, characters have a defense value for determining resistance from all types of harm. Each also has a number of skills below their listing. These have a value which equals the attribute's value plus a rank. For instance, Zavinda's intellect is 2, and she has 2 ranks in the medicine skill. Therefore, she has a medicine skill of 4. Characters also have 3 resource pools: health, focus, and investiture. Health is a physical resource representing a character's stamina and resistance to injuries. Depleting this pool can lead to damage, injury, and even death. Focus is a cognitive resource representing their mental resolve and ability to resist influence and distraction, as well as to execute complex or precise maneuvers. Depleting this pool means losing attention, will, and control over one's emotions. It's never happened to me. Investiture is a spiritual resource representing their ability to hold and channel the cosmic energy that suffuses the Cosmere. On Roshar, this represents a character's ability to breathe in and hold Stormlight. For more information on that, see pages 1 through 10,000 of the Stormlight archive. New characters don't have investiture, but if you later choose a radiant path, players gain an investiture pool that works similar to focus. Characters come with a number of narrative hooks, a purpose, a core need the player cannot help but act on and embody, an obstacle persistently blocking the character from their goal, a tangible objective they work towards. Additionally, players have connections, which might be loyal companions, patron organizations, or even the magical Sprin. In the combat of the Cosmere, the initiative system for determining turn order is very streamlined. Each player character, or PC, and non-player character, or NPC, chooses to take either a fast turn, which includes 2 actions, or a slow turn, which includes 3 actions. Each round of combat follows this sequence. fast PC turns, fast NPC turns, slow PC turns, and slow NPC turns. Each character also gets one reaction every round. Once every character has taken one turn, the round is over and the next one begins. Repeat these steps until the combat is resolved. After aggravating the soldiers, you run and they chase you into a nearby chasm. I'm gonna need each of you to declare your initiative. Would you like to take a fast turn or a slow turn?
I'm gonna go fast turn, and I'm going straight for the big guy, because I gotta take him out these muscles.
I'm fragile in combat, so I'm gonna take a slow turn and try to get cover and hold a weapon in front of me.
I'm nimble, so I'm gonna go fast, and I'm gonna go with a cheap shot.
All right, the officer looks clever. He's gonna go slow. Then we have the soldier with the dented spear that's gonna move fast, and the big burly soldier is gonna be moving slow as well. Daniel and Omar, you'll go first with your 2 action fast turns. Then the fast NPC will take 2 actions. Then Gina, with your slow turn, you'll get 3 actions, and then the other NPCs. When attacking, a combatant will attack using a weapon skill test or athletics for an unarmed attack, and must roll to meet or exceed their target's physical defense value. Alongside this roll, they'll also roll the damage die listed in the attack. If the test is a failure, the attack misses. If they wish to expend 1 focus from their pool, they may graze the target, dealing the damage die's result. If the test is a success, the target takes damage equal to the damage die plus the modifier for the skill used. If you attack in a risky or dramatic way, the GM may ask you to add the plot die to your attack test. In combat, this can influence the narrative, like using a complication to say a high storm is getting closer. But on a successful hit, you can also spend an opportunity to make a critical hit, dealing max damage against a standard adversary or taking a minion out of the fight completely. When it's not your turn, reactions still give you ways to interact in combat. You can dodge, imposing disadvantage on an incoming attack. You can aid an ally, giving them advantage, or you can make a reactive strike, attacking someone who leaves your reach. Each of these reactions costs 1 focus, but if you run out of focus, you can get it back by using the recover action on your turn. Daniel, you're up first. Let's see what you want to do with your 2 actions.
All right, for my first action, I'm gonna run at the big guy, and for my second action, I'm gonna take my spear and jab it in his chest. So for my action roll, I'm gonna roll a d20, and for my damage, a d8. Got a 20 on my d20, but I'm also adding 5, so it's like super extra special. And then for my damage, I rolled a 1, but I get to add 5 to that, so it's a 6.
Also, because you have rolled an opportunity on that d20 roll, I'm gonna let you do max damage. 13 damage, and this big guy looks way worse for wear. He is on his very last leg. All right, Omar, you're up. What are you gonna do in your fast turn?
I am going to rush up to the other soldier and go for a knife attack.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 6 + 4 for the attack, which is 10.
10 is close, but does not quite get him. He steps out of the way of your attack. But if you'd like to spend a focus, you could graze him, and that will just do your damage.
Oh, great, yeah, I will spend that focus, and I got a 4 on the die.
As you concentrate harder, you do stab him a little bit. Deal 4 damage from your damage die, but you don't get to add your modifier this way. All right, the leader has a fast turn, so runs up to you, Omar, as his first action, and his second action is gonna be to attack you with his side sword. And that's gonna be a 17. Does that beat your physical defense?
My physical defense is a 14.
Yeah, so this attack goes through, and that's gonna deal 6 damage.
Oh!
Does Jamari say his catchphrase now?
I'll give you this one for free.
Ah, typical thief stuff. I love it. All right, Gina, it's your turn.
Okay, for my first action, I want to study the captain to try and gain advantage and see if there's a weakness or maybe his next move.
I love that. Let's have you roll to see if you can gain advantage.
That's a 17 on the die, and I'm adding +5 for my deduction skills.
Yes, he does have a high cognitive defense, but that definitely breaks through it. And you do notice him favoring his left knee a little bit.
And I squint, I take out my pain reel, and I charge to poke.
Yes, you're gonna get to attack with your pain reel, and I'm gonna give you a second die for advantage because you know where to aim.
I'm going for the knee, baby. That's a 16 on the die, +3.
19 does it.
Yeah!
This pain is real, baby.
Fantastic.
How much damage do you do?
I do 4 plus 3, and then so 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. But I also want to, on a hit, I can spend a charge for an additional 3 damage.
Ooh, that's 10 damage coming in. Yeah, he's hopping on that right leg now.
Great. And then I hide for my last action.
Excellent.
Duck behind a rock.
Once a character reaches level 2 or higher, they can choose a radiant path for their progression. The game features 9 radiant paths, each with 3 specialties. Once characters have chosen a path and sworn an ideal, they gain access to powerful magic called Surge Binding. Like other abilities in the Cosmere RPG, magic is skill-based. When Surge Binding, players tell the GM what they want to do and then roll for it, adding their Surge Binding modifier to the skill test result. After winning the skirmish, the 3 of you are running through the chasm and the rocks are falling all around you from above. A boulder lies straight in your path in front of the cave mouth. What do you do?
I got this. I want to use my transformation skill, and I'm gonna run up to the rock and put my hand on it, and I want to turn it into smoke.
Specifically, smoke is going to be a DC of 20.
That's ridiculous. Let's try maybe water.
That's a DC 15.
Awesome, I can handle that. And I got a 12, but I have a +3 on my transformation. 15.
Incredible, you succeed so long as you're able to spend 2 investiture because it's a medium-sized object.
Got that, deal.
All right, you're able to turn it into water and it flows around your ankles and the cave mouth stands open and before you all.
My boots are wet.
Surge binding can be very flexible. Gravitation can be used to make things fly. Illumination can light weave any illusion. It's all up to your role and your imagination. As characters level up, they gain talents which provide access to more powerful techniques, like transforming a living enemy or making solid illusions. The Cosmere RPG also provides game masters with 2 scene types to resolve the story's progress using game mechanics: conversations and endeavors. Conversations encapsulate any social scene where at least 2 characters are talking and attempting to achieve their goals through dialogue, such as negotiations, deceptions, interrogations, attempts at connection, etc. Through a conversation, the character may attempt to influence the direction of this discussion, known as a contribution. And if the outcome of such an offer is uncertain, the GM makes the character roll an appropriate skill test, such as persuasion, deception, intimidation, or leadership. However, NPCs can spend focus from their resource pool to resist such an influence, adding depth to important conversations. The Bright Lord Michels stands before you with your friend Jomari incapacitated and tied up just behind him. This wretched urchin, you want him back? He was found stealing from our armory.
Listen, you've known me for a long time. Please, just do me one favor and please release my friend.
How do you know Bright Lord Michels?
I know Brightness Michels very well. We've studied together for a long time.
All right, I'm gonna need you to roll a persuasion check, but let's also raise the stakes. Give me a plot die.
Ooh, okay. That's a 14 on the die, +1 for persuasion, and then I got a complication.
Bright Lord Michels says, understood. but we'll need something in return in exchange for the prisoner.
So at this, since we don't have that much, I walk up behind you with my big muscles and give that intimidating look at them, and I say, I think we've paid you enough with our time.
Would you like to roll for intimidation?
Yes, I would. I just happen to get a 19 plus 2, 21.
Yes, you have definitely broken through his defenses. And the Bright Lord says, don't let it happen again.
You got it.
Endeavors are more complex, skill-based scenes where characters can contribute to an effort using different skills. While they proceed in rounds similar to combat, endeavors allow players to work toward a defined goal while combining role-playing and skill tests to determine the outcome. During endeavors, time flows at whatever pace best fits the story. The full Stormlight Handbook also includes special rules for specific endeavors like pursuits and investigations. And that's the basics of the Cosmere RPG. You can join a universe of adventure featuring Stormlight, Mistborn, and beyond on Kickstarter right now, and you can find these books in retail very soon. I'm Becca Scott, this is Good Time Society, and you should surge behind that subscribe button, like this video, and come on back for more great games and good times. Bye.